Hey, y'all, and welcome to the Stripe Show podcast, brought to you by OnCore Golf. OnCore designs high-performance golf balls for players of all skill levels and swing speeds. Get fitted for your perfect golf ball today, and then get $10 off your first order at OnCoreGolf.com. Well, it's Friday. I'm your host, Samantha Marks. We're back with another happy hour express edition of the Stripe Show podcast. The pumpkin spice latte and the pumpkin cream cold brew is back at Starbucks. That's the biggest news of the week, honestly. End the podcast, stop recording. That's all you need to know. That's my basic white girl moment is that I'm obsessed with the pumpkin cream cold brew. So if you haven't ever had one, I would encourage you to get one this weekend. It's a nice little treat heading into a weekend of golf. There's a lot going on in this week in golf, so I'll give you a snapshot of what you need to know before we get to our Korn Ferry Tour grad interview here in a little bit. The BMW Championship well underway at Caves Valley. This is the first time the PGA Tour is seeing this course, and I'm loving watching it. It's hilly, it's beautiful. There's something awesome about all of us seeing this course together for the first time. Some players that are off to a hot start, Jon Rahm, who's shocked, definitely the best player in the world right now. Rory McIlroy, Sam Burns, Dustin Johnson. Sam Burns, though, Travis is wanting him to make a postseason push and even be a threat for the Ryder Cup. He's played some really good golf this year and is trending in the right direction at the perfect time. It'll be interesting to see how the weekend shakes out. As always, looking forward to watching it on TV this weekend. It's supposed to be kind of rainy and gross here in Orlando this weekend. So a weekend full of golf is definitely welcomed, and, you know, some couch potatoing and raining outside, watching some golf. A new course on TV is going to be great for us here in Florida. But for other storylines, Patrick Reed was in the hospital with a strange form of pneumonia, and he's out now and he's back home. But the rest of his season and his Ryder Cup chances are in jeopardy now as he focuses on recovering as expected. Good news that he's home, that he's starting to feel better, but it'll be interesting to see how it shakes out and what his recovery is like. Also along the Ryder Cup lines, Steve Stricker says that the Brooks and Bryson feud is put to bed. How? Who knows? Travis spoke with Kurt Byram yesterday, and they joked about wanting them to hug it out on the first tee. And it's funny because we know that will never happen. It's going to be a few interesting weeks leading up to the Ryder Cup. Don't get me started on the Kevin Kisner cult drama I endured last week on Twitter. Y'all are wildin' with that. First of all, you need to chill. But it'll be interesting to see who makes a push and what kind of strategy Steve Stricker goes with. Is he going to go with the more veteran players? Is he going to go with kind of a younger, newer, fresher dynamic on the team? So who knows what's to come? We've got a couple more Ryder Cup specials with Travis coming up next week on the Stripe Show, where he's going to talk to some European Tour experts, some PGA Tour experts, and kind of get their opinions on who should be Stricker's captain's picks. So it'll be an interesting couple weeks. Obviously, we've got the BMW Championship this week, Tour Championship next week at East Lake, one of my favorite tournaments to watch all year. But that's pretty much it for super need to know storylines from this week in golf. The Curtis Cup is also on TV this weekend. Be sure to check that out. Some great amateur golf going on with the women. But as you know, we're getting to know the upcoming PGA Tour players here on the Stripe Show podcast and on Fridays. The KFT guys who've secured their PGA Tour cards this season. We're getting to know him over the next several weeks. And this week, we're getting to know number 25, the last guy to earn his PGA Tour card, SMU grad. He's a former teammates with Bryson DeChambeau and Harry Higgs at Southern Methodist University in Dallas. We're getting to know Austin Smotherman. And I love chatting with Austin this week and getting to know him on and off the golf course. He was a really fun interview, and I could really tell that he was really about his team that's around him on tour. And I can really tell that he's got some fire behind him and he's ready to go low. So here's a little bit more about Austin on and off the golf course. Enjoy this one. Okay, Austin, thanks for joining us. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. Thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today. Where are you right now?
I am in Dallas, Texas on a short little 18-hour layover between tournaments.
And where are you headed next?
I'm on my way to Columbus, Ohio, for our second Corn Ferry Finals event. Just finished up our tournament, the Albertsons Boise Open, and decided to take a one night's rest in my own bed on this whirlwind of a season. So
It's probably nice, though. It's been a long season with COVID. How has it been? Describe your season to us so far.
I mean, a bunch of new experiences. I mean, obviously traveling during the pandemic and just, going through our testing protocols week in and week out, going through the whole vaccination process. And then just hoping to compete with more and more fans, which has kind of been the biggest thing. It's been nice to see those crowds grow a little bit. Because even on the Corn Ferry Tour, we don't get the biggest crowds, but I mean, through the middle of last year, I mean, it was kind of difficult to, go make a 30-footer and have no one clap for you.
Yeah, well, you were the Corn Ferry Tour player to earn the PGA Tour card, one of the 25. You were number 25, but hey, they're still the same card as the number 1 guy as far as I'm concerned. Tell us how that felt. Was it a little bit of a sigh of relief?
It is, and I'm still getting goosebumps with you describing it like that. I guess it's been a little bit more than a week, and it really hasn't really set in. But yeah, I mean, we earned our PGA Tour card, and we're playing these finals to better our status. And oh my gosh, the emotional roller coaster of at least the round on Sunday was intense. I had not really looked at all the details to figure out what I needed to finish to lock a card and move up. I knew the guys around me on the points list going into the tournament going into the weekend had missed the cut, and so it was kind of up to me. And I had a nice Friday round, shooting 7 under, to give myself a good chance over the weekend. And then the cards fell the right way in my hands, so it was exciting.
How does your mentality shift going into those couple final rounds where you have to play good, or it's going to be another year before you get that shot again?
Right. I think if I looked at it as, this wasn't a marathon we were running and we got to the final mile and you got to push hard. Well, you're still just taking one step to take the next and to keep moving along this road that we're running and chasing our PGA Tour dreams. To think that last mile was going to be easy would be kind of ignorant. I mean, at the start of the year, it's what we were playing for, but we kept stepping forward. It wasn't easy. To have to wait a whole another year, not that I wouldn't have been ready for it or accepting of it, because that's the process. It's part of the dream. Can't get too far ahead of ourselves, and everybody's on their own kind of timeline and their path. I'm fortunate. Mine was 2 years playing Latin America out of college, 2 years playing Corn Ferry, or maybe 3 years with the added season on top of our second year, and then my rookie season starts in a couple of weeks.
You keep saying we, which tells me, as somebody who follows golf, obviously golf is an individual sport, but that tells me how important your team is to you and how, integral they are to your success. Talk to me about how important having the right people around you are, especially to make it, how you've made it so far.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, even just this morning talking to you, I'm on this short little layover back home in Dallas and went and saw my trainer this morning, got a workout in already. Who's William's been a huge part of my team since I was in college, working out at the Move Project. I actually got to run into the SMU team there this morning as well. Fortunately, my workout was at 7 and their team workouts are at 6. But I think that's kind of the beauty of it is just, such an individual sport, but playing college golf definitely kind of gave you that team aspect of it. And you just get to meet so many great people that you can add and just keep stacking on top of each other, to where when it comes down to it, those new moments or stressful moments and just questions you might have, you can, reach out to somebody and ease a little bit of that pressure. And that's who I kind of have in place with my wife and my coach, Cameron McCormick, everybody at my home golf course, Trinity Forest. I mean, it's awesome.
It's important to have the right people around you. And you clearly have a good start because you won your first Corn Ferry Tour event at Simmons Bank Open in May. Describe that feeling. I know I'm just asking you to describe your feelings, but I feel like it's been emotional.
It's all right. This can be a little bit of a therapy session. No, now I'm recognizing myself saying we. It's not even something that I really pay attention to nowadays. But to win Simmons Bank Open in Nashville, Yeah, I mean, to say that I just knew it was going to be my week is kind of crazy, but you know what? Just things were falling into place that I just felt like I was in a good headspace. Game felt great. I was playing loose. Had kind of been playing well. Finished like 19th the week before, but had no, I've been playing better than that, and just was staying patient and just kind of let the week come to me. And I started off with a good first round, shooting 7 under par, and then kind of held on to a share of the lead or outright co-led or led throughout the entire week. I mean, the final round that week in Nashville, we actually had 2 weather delays the final round. An hour and 15 minutes the first time where I had to mark my ball in a fairway bunker and then had to come back out, place it, and basically just tell myself for an hour and a half, how am I going to make par from this fairway bunker? I want to get back out there because it was not the place to be. And then the second one was almost 2.5 hours. So just to not be so mentally worn out over that 7.5, almost 8 hours I was at the golf course, was kind of what I had worked up to in that point to be able to handle that.
When I talked to Curtis Thompson last week, he was talking about how a lot of the regular Korn Ferry Tour seasons, you win once, and I don't want to say you kind of coast to the end, but you more so have a better chance. Obviously, when the season is shortened, where it wasn't, it was extended this year. So what was that like, kind of still having to grind after that event, and then now you still have the finals and you're still waiting? I mean, describe that to us.
I enjoyed it. I mean, I embraced it. I think it definitely, this class of 25 players earning their card, I think, are going to be more prepared for the PGA Tour than possibly classes in the past, where you definitely have kind of the top 5 or 10 guys that are completely ready for the PGA Tour, and maybe that 10 to 15 mark that need a little bit of extra oomph to kind of get it going. But the fact that we went through a 2-season deal to figure out the core guys of the year, and that you couldn't just coast, and you had to be prepared, keep working hard, figure out how to shoot 15 to 20 under par every single week in all these different golf courses we play. I think the better players are able to kind of come out, and I was fortunate enough to be the 25th guy, but I know I still have some work to do.
Well, speaking of obviously being a good golfer, Travis, as we know, is a golf instructor. So I do have to ask those little instruction questions. You're ranked pretty high in total driving and ball striking. So we do like to talk about that a little bit. Tell us what you're working on in your swing week to week, or what like your kind of default move is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no. So I've always kind of struggled with, not so much struggle. I mean, I guess I'm, in a way to frame it correctly, I'm too good at drawing the ball. And so over the course of these past couple of years working with Cameron, we've worked on just kind of neutralizing a little bit of swing path, and kind of weakening the club face to where I can get a more neutral ball flight. Honestly, I hit 95% of my shots with a fade feel. Everything does not necessarily fade. I mean, a lot of people out there joke that, oh, awesome, that was an awesome 2-yard draw. Like, what are you talking about? That thing cut 5 yards. And just the way that my eyes see it, but those are my feels, and how to kind of continually refine that. And these past couple of weeks, especially in Omaha, I took a couple of videos, which I'm not a huge video guy during Monday through Wednesday. Sorry, I had some noise in the back, but a couple face-on videos, and I saw just my head dropping so far back behind me, at least with my driver swing, that all I was focused on the entire week was just trying to feel like I'm super neutral, head over the top of the ball, and even making practice rehearsals where I'm feeling like I'm falling, like getting my head in front of the ball in that rehearsal, and able to kind of feel that club face through. And I don't know if that sounds confusing or not, but you know what? That's literally all I've really been focusing on.
Well, that's great. And it feels like a lot of us younger people are too into that technology. So it's interesting to hear you say that you're not a huge video person on those times when you're trying to figure it out. So what advice would you give to the weekend golfer? Like, from what you've learned in the past few years, playing mini tours, making it to the PGA Tour. I look at my dad, who plays like 4 times a week, and he gets so mad when he shoots 80, yet he doesn't practice. It's like, I know exactly what I would tell him if I could, but what would your advice be to the average golfer?
Oh my gosh. You got to have a little bit of expectation management. I mean, even for myself out there, hitting a 9-iron from 150 yards into a cross breeze of 30 feet sometimes on firm greens is not a bad shot at all. I mean, if you look at some of these crazy Tiger stats that are thrown out there sometimes, I mean, his proximity with wedges from 100 yards, the amount that he hit inside 10 feet is not even really that high. He doesn't miss greens, and then he doesn't three putt once he gets on the green. So it's just expectation management, kind of finding your go-to around the green shot. You can't be really double chipping it to be able to break 80. You got to get it on the green and at least have a look for 4 or, for par. And if you're going to spend any time, get loose. If you practice, hit some extra balls, but just go get the speed of the greens down and go through kind of a one ball drill prior to the round, and kind of not just hit shots to hit shots and have them actually mean something.
Expectation management. I like that. Well, shifting gears a little bit, we talked about this before we started recording. As an SMU grad, there's a guy on the PGA Tour, a lot of buzz around him from SMU. You were teammates with Bryson DeChambeau, is that right?
That's right. We grew up playing junior golf together, even way back in our California days.
Would you say you learned things from him? Were you comparing yourself to him? Tell me about in college what he was like and how you guys kind of grew up on the team together.
Yeah. Well, in college he was really good. In the pros he's really good. But he definitely kind of opened the door to kind of what you can achieve through some incredibly hard work and some intense focus. I mean, what he wants to achieve and what he focuses on, and I mean, he will work day and night to be able to achieve it. And in college, we got to sacrifice things here or there. You got school, social life, whatever it might be, and you just got to figure out how to prioritize those things for you, and to be able to for me to not to compare myself to him too often, but definitely pick his brain. Other than learning his work ethic, he's told me to, like, at least when I won in South America, one of the things he mentioned before my final round, we texted a decent amount, was just to learn something from every single shot that day, and kind of to take my mind off of the outcome of wherever that shot did, and just to dive into, all right, well, how can we get a little bit better on the next one? And just kind of his thought process and the way his mind works versus all the technical stuff, because there's no way I can reproduce his swing, upright club, single length. I mean, you could go on and on down that list, but so just kind of a little bit of all those things.
That's some great advice, like you said, from somebody who's really good right now. This is a completely different question that I had written down, but I forgot to ask it. I read something about your superstition with your ball marker. You use a quarter, but there's a very strange method. So I need to hear this from you.
Yeah. So in my bag right now, I think I got 4 in there currently, 2 1965 quarters and then 2 1967 quarters. But I'll only use quarters from the year 1960s. And for some reason, I've only been able to find 65 and 67, which is fine. But I don't mind looking at those numbers all day long. Those are kind of some good scores you want to shoot on a golf course. And then I'll mark on the green anything birdie or better. I'll mark it with the eagle up and the bird. And the next thing you know, any par or worse, I will mark it with the heads up, because you got to stay a little bit more focused to make sure you got your head in it. So
where did that come from?
I don't know. It probably years ago, and then I don't even realize I was doing it. And then nowadays, when we get change anywhere, or somebody's looking at some quarters or an old jar of change, I'll go through it and try and snag a couple extra 65 or 67 quarters.
I love that. What about a 59? Would you be loving a 59?
If somebody has a 1959 quarter they would happily donate, I would take it in a heartbeat.
You'll pay them another quarter, right? That's right.
I'll double their money. I'll give them 50 cents.
There you go. Big offers here. Another random question, and then we'll go to our rapid fire questions. But I read that you like to train your dog. I just got a dog.
Okay.
So what is the coolest thing your dog can do? Can he grab you a beer from the fridge or something?
No, sadly, no. I don't know. I mean, we got a few good tricks. Our favorite is probably just walking and her zigzagging between our legs, do a little in and out kind of weave. She's got her probably better hand-eye coordination, or paw, I guess, mouth-eye coordination, however you refer to that, as a Frisbee dog. So, I mean, kind of some cool Frisbee tricks. And she kind of helps me get away from the golf course a little bit. And morning walks, go get our coffee, go to the park for a little bit when I'm home. And her name's Cypress. We named her after Cypress Point. And then we have a cat as well, and her name is Pebbles, after Pebble Beach. And
Classic.
I'm pretty sure if we got another dog, we might have to figure out maybe Monty for like Monterey Peninsula. We got to figure out how to work Spanish Bay in there, get that whole kind of that Monterey 17-mile drive in the house.
Two different strategies there because I like tacos and I named my cat Taco. So pretty much the same thing.
I like golf. I like golf courses. I like those golf courses.
There you go.
So.
Okay, so throughout this series, I'm going to do with all these Korn Ferry Tour graduates, I'm going to ask everybody a list of the same questions. So it's rapid fire, just answer not as quick as you can, but with the first thing that comes to your mind, okay?
All right, I'm ready.
Biggest thing you're excited about on the PGA Tour?
Definitely the Sunday Roars.
Okay, who are you most excited to play with?
I want to play with Adam Scott.
Okay, who or what motivates you?
My family. Just
Three words, everyone. 3 words to best describe you as a person.
3 words. I'd say like relaxed, fun, and happy.
Okay, now 3 words to best describe your golf game.
Consistent, which can also be sometimes boring. And then, I don't know, one more word. I don't know. Why is this one so tough?
I don't know, but I liked boring because boring is not necessarily a bad thing in golf.
No. I'd say trending.
Trending. There we go. That's a good one. Okay. Do you have any passions that are not golf related?
Food.
Food. Okay. If you weren't a golfer, what would you be doing?
Probably some sort of marketing for some sporting events or something like that. Still definitely staying in sports.
What's the best advice you were ever told?
Just be yourself.
And what's your most memorable golf shot to this day?
Oh. Most memorable is my first ever college event, Spring Hill up in Wayzata, Minnesota, hold a hybrid on the 36-hole day of the first tournament of my college career from 225 for double eagle.
Double eagle, Jesus.
Yep. That same day, Harry Higgs, a couple of groups behind me, made a hole-in-one. And that same hole I double eagled, Bryson made an eagle right in front of me. So we were also trending that day as a team.
Oh yeah, that's right. Harry Higgs was with y'all as well, huh?
Yep. We were teammates for 2 years, and then I had his brother as a teammate as well, who's now caddying for him. And
then because he advanced to BMW in the 70th spot yesterday, right?
70 or 69, I'm not sure. I know it was close. We were following. It was close. Yeah, Harry's been awesome. I mean, you can't compete against him. Although I'm going to have to, and I'm going to have to beat him every week. So.
And Bryson too.
And Bryson. So it'll be fun. I'm sure we'll get all the ponies together for a practice round, and then we got Kelly Craft playing well as well in the Korn Ferry Finals event last week. Finished 7th. So hopefully we all get ourselves out there and we can have Colt Nost, another SMU pony, calling our shots from the sidelines. So.
Well, awesome, Austin. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. I hope that you have a great rest of the season, and we'll be watching for you on the PGA Tour. But we loved getting to know you today.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
See ya.